can't say that I understand the feeling. All right, let's give you our levels for this morning. Our pivot this morning is 3683. 3683. We got resistance at 91, 99, 3707, 17, and 26. Support below at 73, 65, 53, 46, 39. Pivot 3683, support at 73, 65, 53, 46, 39. Resistance on the upside at 91, 99, 3707, 17, and 26. Welcome to our trading room here. We used to be on the Florida Exchange, but thanks to COVID, we are nestled in my warm and cozy basement, which is fine. Get still to talk to you. You just don't hear the background noise, which, by the way, somebody thought I was on a beach and had a background noise tape going on and on and on and on. That's another story for another day. Some of you heard it, some of you didn't. And it's true. He actually came to visit me on the floor just to make sure that I was real. No kidding. All right. But yes, I am real. On the floor was. Not anymore, so we'll see what happens. Market yesterday opened up a new year with a lot of enthusiasm to the downside. Now, a little surprise, we saw, look at that range, kind of covered last 2 or 3 weeks range in the course of the day. Actually, in the course of 3 hours. That's another story, though. But yeah, a crazy day. A lot of reasons why. COVID numbers are bad. They have a new strain. They were actually worried about Georgia going blue because of thinking that there would be Democrats have more power in Congress and Senate, so that's what one person or two people said. I don't know if all of that's true or not. I mean, actually, I kind of like it if we can be busy like this. Let's have it. Who cares about what color Congress is, as long as we're busy so we can make some money. Definitely not going to make money slowly upticking. But yesterday we had to, fight through a few early bumps, but hopefully we were able to talk you through it. And then we were able to, make some good money on those other levels down below. We are trading mini S&Ps here. We don't believe markets go straight up or straight down. And consequently, we're trying to take advantage of those ebbs and flows in the market. We're basically scalping the market. With volatility and without volatility, yesterday we started at 2 to 3 point stops and we increased it, as I was mentioning, because of the volatility that got swooned into the market. We're looking probably about 4 to 5 point stops. I'd say we're in that range right now as we quickly come up here. Remember, I said the first couple bars is a little bit tricky, and that's what's kind of going on right now, is kind of quickly rotated back up here, just kind of doing the same thing in reverse from yesterday. First couple bars always a little bit tricky, only because of the fact that the market is kind of feeling its way. New traders are coming into the market, so they are given different reasons to trade, and taking an overnight straight. So the first couple bars in the morning, usually, especially when there's volatility, which, as you can see over the last couple of days, there's some considerable volatility here that's all of a sudden thrown into the market. Not the worst thing, but you got to be able to understand that it's there and trading accordingly. So, and we quickly go through the 91. I gave you a quick chance to look. And I said this yesterday, if we give you a level and it goes through it like a hot knife through butter, that means something's up. And maybe if it rotated back down and gave you a chance to get out of it for a little less than your stop, then you take that, right? And then look for the next level, because usually we don't run through levels as quickly or as easily as you think you do. So as long as you understand that, you have to adjust to the market. right? We always have to adjust to the market. That's the one thing that we always try to do. Try to keep you on the right side of the market and adjust to the market. All right, so we're scalping the market. Again, we are looking for rotations off of these inflection points that we believe the market will give us an opportunity to scalp. And we use the levels that we gave out, plus in addition to the price action opportunities that occur once the market paints some bars. So the overnight trade is okay, but it's a little bit thin compared to once the 830 bell rings, which again is when it used to be when the big S&P market opened up. A lot of traders wait for that mark, and that's why we're always talking about 830 as being the starting point here for us when we begin, and all of a sudden the influx of volume comes into the market. Yesterday, today, you see what happened here right at that first bar. Creates a lot of volatility and a lot of angst, and again, the only reason is because more and more traders at that point just come into the market and start trading. I don't know why well, I do know why. I mean, it used to be, like I said, for when the big S&P pit started trading, and that's what happens. So market is just trying to figure out, what is going to affect it more. Is it going to be the COVID situation? Is it going to be this new strain of COVID that's coming out? Market is always sensitive to that. You're going to have lockdowns in London today for the next 2 weeks, so that's not a good thing. If that starts to spread, it's obviously negative to the market. The feeling in the United States about lockdowns is not as acceptable as it is in Europe, even though they don't like it either. But at least it's something that they can, they deal with a little bit better than we do here. That's for sure, right? And well, anyway, the point is that the market is going to absorb that news as well and try to figure out what it wants to do with that. And then you have the election coming up today in Georgia. Again, I think if what happened yesterday is true, if the Democrats seem to pull both, which is very unlikely, by the way, seem to pull off both races there, they would add some volatility to the downside in the market. Who knows? Like I said, I think it's great. Let it make it happen, right? Make it happen that we're going to get some volatility because Democrats win. Markets like, or traders, I should say, you and I like it when markets go down. There's more volatility in the market. There's more ebbs and flows. There's more chances to markets do better when it goes down. I mean, traders do better because there's ebbs and flows that you don't get when markets go straight up. I don't know why it's like that. It just is. I wish I could give you a better answer than yeah, that happens that way. I have no idea why it happens that way. So we're coming up here to the 99 area now, as you can tell. Continue this first couple bars where there's extra volatility. It's all right there. I won't complain there, Stevie. Steve. Take what the market gives you, right? Nothing wrong with that. And sometimes it gives you more, sometimes it gives you less. But just trade the market, that's all. Bonds here on their lows, kind of, again, inverse relationship kind of situation happening. And maybe that's kind of what's going on there. Yesterday was they rallied a little bit in the face of that break, a little bit, not that much. Bonds are kind of just hanging on their own here. Let's see if there's any news coming out today. So we have the voting tonight. The polls close 7 o'clock Eastern time, and that'll And then we have tomorrow, Congress convenes the Electoral College, which again is another situation where we'll see how that turns out. There's, that's should be a kind of a normal situation, but these days nothing is normal, and that's what's going on. Again, just keep your stops in there no matter what. All right, we always talk about keeping your stops in. And market continues to uptick here. Next level we have is the 07 area. Kind of starting out the same way we did yesterday. Coming all the way up here to 07. All right, nice work and a nice rotation here off of the 07 here. Again, you got to get out so you get back in there so you have the opportunity to take advantage of the next level that works. That's why you keep your stops in there. We are not, we have to, if you bought them off the morning, could you have bought them all? You have to believe it was market was going to go up, right? To buy them off the morning here. And if you did, then you're doing all right on this rotation. A nice rotation right up to the 07 area there. All right, nice little pullback off of the 07. And again, you have to make sure we get out of our shorts on those other levels so that you can partake in this level up here. You can't, doesn't usually bode well if you're trying to, add on. That doesn't usually work out too good for us. And trying to see what we can do here with the 07 is we're nice going up here and tested it again. Got good 3.5 points out of it easily. Should be able to done that okay, and then see what happens again. If you got out of your other ones, you gotta stick tight to your stops, especially in the first couple bars, right? Because like we talked about yesterday, how volatile the first couple bars are, and kind of the same situation here, and coming right up to kind of goes through our first couple levels, which not usually the case, but in this situation it was. All right, continues to uptick here. We got 17. Again, you got to take some profits here with whatever the market's giving you. And then kind of just see, waiting for the next opportunity. All right, let's see what if there are any numbers coming out. Let's see here. So we have, well, again, there's the bigger numbers are more going to be concentrated on what comes out tonight. But we have ISM Manufacturing Index coming out here at 9 o'clock at the top of the hour. So we have to deal with that number. It could be a little bit of a market mover. Again, the market's going to be kind of moving on its own on different for different reasons here. So keep that in mind. All right, market is it did kind of the same thing in reverse from yesterday. Kind of went through the first couple levels easily, and then came to the third. Kind of worked yesterday in the same situation, but on the downside. So we have the same in reverse on the down. So we have a number coming out here at 9 o'clock. So we'll have to deal with that when it comes out. And that's about it. Then we have a couple Fed speeds, but again, the Fed speaking is definitely going to be, overshadowed by whatever news comes out. Whatever news comes out, tonight, and then we have the Electoral College meeting tomorrow. So we'll see what happens there. All right, let's see. Down to Georgia. Democratic John Ossoff, a documentary filmmaker, and Reverend Warnock, a senior pastor of the Ebenezer Baptist Church in Atlanta, are taking on Republican incumbent Senator David Perdue and Kelly Loeffler. As of now, GOP holds a majority in the Senate, but if the Democrats win both of the runoff races, Vice President-elect Kamala Harris will be a tie-breaking vote, giving the party control of the White House and Congress. Both contests are tight, and the results may not be immediately known. Oh gosh, which would lead to a repeat of chaotic vote recount following the U.S. presidential election in November. More drama will ensue on Wednesday as the House and Senate formalize Biden's Electoral College win. A group of at least 12 senators are objecting to the certification. What it means is, for the market, uncertainty about the Georgia runoff already sent Wall Street sharply lower on Monday, and volatility could return. Democrats taking the Senate would mean an ever greater convergence, I should say, to a loose financial monetary policy, which would be a negative impact on U.S. Treasuries and the dollar, according to some analysts, as the market tries to figure out what it wants to do up here. And again, nice little rotation from the upside from the morning once we started. If you had a reason to buy it, could have had a couple places where you could have decided to get in. Again, you had to get out of those trades underneath. When you get this added volatility, it obviously adds to the first couple bars of the morning where everybody gets in there. Maybe they overdid it yesterday, maybe they didn't. Who knows? Or the day before, who knows why they broke it yesterday? But hey, we can just trade the market, whatever market tells us. Sometimes we catch it perfectly, and other times we have to work a little bit today. And yesterday we worked in the morning, and we did all right as the day went on. Let's see here. So Georgia, the Democrats seeking, and then so nonetheless, it could be the excuse for near-term consolidation in risky markets after a strong post-election rally, said some analysts. All right, so who knows, right? They don't know either. They're just assuming. But also, I would think that this new variant, I think it's the right phrase for this, is for the COVID thing, is weighing on the market. All right, market has kind of drifted up here, got up to about the 13, 12 and a half area, and then coming off. Again, we had 7, and then that came off really quick off of the 7, and then hopefully you were able to take a little advantage of that and get out of the other ones, because the other ones were not good. right? But who knew? Like I said, if we knew the market was going to take off right off the morning, would be geniuses, but we're not. So just like yesterday, if we knew if it was going to break 100 points, I would have told you. Promise, I would have told you. I wish I knew. All right, we're coming off here a little bit. Support, really no good. Well, a little bit of support around maybe the 97 area. Um, if you're looking for a little bit of a buy, if not, I'd just wait down to probably the 85 area. All right, let's see what else. So we have a little number coming out here in about 13 minutes. So keep that in mind. Worries about inflation. President-elect Joe Biden also referred to the latest coronavirus aid package as a down payment for dealing with the pandemic, and today's runoff election in Georgia could make that reality. Another stimulus bill providing cash for testing and vaccination aid to cities and states, and the third round of direct payments could be valued in trillions of dollars, and that is prompting worries about inflation and massive federal deficit. All of a sudden, they're worried about that. The backdrop: the United States hasn't seen significant inflation in almost 40 years since 2008 financial crisis. The economy has experienced very low inflation and even deflation. A moderate level of inflation occurs naturally in a growing economy, yielding higher prices that encourages businesses to invest, interest rates to go up, and higher wages. Central bank officials have said that they will tolerate inflation levels higher than 2% to juice the economy and get it back into full employment. But if the number rises at a faster rate, it could be harmful to investors and force the Fed to tighten policy sooner than expected. Blah, 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 blah. We can't even get off of first base and they're worried about inflation. The bottom line is that it will take a long time for average inflation to reach 2%, said Chicago Fed president. To me, our objective is to manage the risks. The Fed policy stance will have to accommodate for quite a while. Others are like the former president of the New York Fed made waves last month by suggesting inflation might come back much more quickly than consensus suggests due to the pricing differentials and lingering effects of the pandemic. I don't know. No idea. All I know is we haven't, again, they don't know, right? And if you got one Fed guy saying one thing, the other Fed guy saying the other, they don't know either. So that's just fine. Gives, uncertainty gives us opportunity. So that's what we like to do here. Again, if anybody has any questions, please feel free to ask. We are trading mini S&Ps here. We're trying to take advantage of ebbs and flows of the market. And sometimes we don't get ebbs and flows. We get just one-way trade. It doesn't really bode too well for our trade, but that's why we keep our stops in. Very important to keep your stops in. Minimize your risk, and then look for the next opportunity once it presents itself. And hopefully we were able to do that with, we got run over on the 91 and 99, but the 07 worked out nicely for us when it came up there originally. And now we're just kind of bouncing back and forth here in a little no man's range or no man's land here, kind of just chopping around. Support would be back around the 95, 96 area. Next level of resistance we have is up at 17. So yesterday I gave you more levels. On the downside, I'm going to have to give you more levels on the upside today. Maybe. All right, we're just kind of just chopping up here. All right. We do have a number coming out here in about 7 minutes.
Hey, Steve P. Steve, I'll reach out to you in a couple minutes here. Robert, why don't Robert post your telephone number for me? I'll give you a ring up. And yes, we can do whatever you need. Hey, quick shout out. Welcome to Mahmoud. Welcome. Hey, Robert, if you can post your best telephone number, I can try to ring you up too. Stephen P. I'll ring you up in a minute or two. Hey, Brad G. If you want to post your number, I'll catch up with you.
All right, we're just kind of hanging up here. They kind of found a new little area to just kind of go back and forth. The next level on the upside we have is up at 17, but we do have a number going to be released here in about 3.5 minutes or so. So we don't like to trade numbers. We like to just kind of wait for the number to be released and then trade any after effect that might occur. If you have a position on and the number comes out and it goes against us, then we've got ourselves into a situation where we don't want to, but we're going to be having to trade out of that. So instead of getting into that situation, let's just wait. If the number is crazy and moves around a little bit, we're going to have ample opportunity to trade the number after. And if not, then that's fine. We don't need to have a position on it. We can just wait for the number to be released, and we can see what the price action is going to dictate after that, and then we'll see what we can get ourselves into. But for the time being, um, let's just be a little bit patient here and wait for the number to be released, and then we'll see how the market reacts, and then we'll go from there. So again, it's not our favorite position to have any kind of position on when a number is released. This one is ISM Manufacturing Index. So it could be a little bit of a market mover. We'll see. Don't forget, in addition to all these exciting things that are happening this week, we have unemployment on Friday. So that's going to be coming out on Friday, and we shall see what happens from there. All right, we're just kind of up here. We're just kind of floating back and forth here, really not going anywhere. And so we'll see. Us that support will be back around the 95.96 area, and we'll see what the number does. The next level of resistance on the upside is up at 17. And apparently they found Jack Ma, in case you were worried about him being missing. CNBC has reported this morning that he's not missing. He's okay. All right. And you can see here with that little pop, the number came out. And you can also tell that there's a number because the ladder ticket got even lighter than light. All right. And we popped all the way from the 07 all the way up here to 13. So obviously that number came out. We don't want to be short with that number, so that's why we don't want to have any position on when we're sitting there. You never know when the market's going to react to something. And given the volatility that's come back in the market, we are, you're going to be the ladder ticket gets thinned out very quickly. There's no 100 lot up and down ladder ticket. There's pretty much average of about 40 or 30 lots in each price. So that's why you get these extreme moves, especially now when there's volatility that's thrown back in the market. So you get these moves. So we don't want to really trade too much. I mean, the only thing I would have had if I did anything was probably have an order up at 17 to be short. But otherwise, I would have just let this kind of. Now, nothing close, right? 17 is not that. I mean, on unemployment, 17 would be too close, right? But this number and most other numbers that come out, except for the Fed, the other thing I don't like to trade is the Fed. You don't have any close positions on with an unemployment number, and you definitely don't want to have any close position on when the Fed comes out. Close, I'd say 10 to 15, 20 points. That's close these days, right? I can tell you a story that I had in the bond market where when we were first starting to trade electronically, and I had a you would be able to arbitrage between whatever trades I got in the pit and whatever trades were on the screen, right? So I would trade buys and sells. If I get out on the screen, that's fine. If I get in or get out in the pit, that's fine too. You just have to keep tally of what positions you have, and you should be able to, even out at the end of the day. But so there was one unemployment number where, I keep telling you that I thought that 20 points was okay, far away, and 20 points in the S&P, that's far away enough. Well, I had an order in the bond pit that was about 3 points away, which, again, if anybody's traded the bonds, 3 points away is a lot. And back in the day, they used to have limits where, and if you were trading on the floor and you were trading in any pit, you had limits as to how much it can go up or down during the course of a day. And we had so I had an order about 3. So the limits in the bond pit, in the bond market those days, were 3 points. Now there are no limits. There are stops, halts in trading, but there are no limits. The new world of electronic trading. Anyway, so I had an order. Once that new rule came in that there was no limits, but I had an order 3 points away from the market. It was like a 20 lot that I had in the bond at 3 points away, and I had my clerk who was taking care of my electronic trades with the computer. The number comes out, and he looks at me and he goes, "You got filled." I go, "Where did I get filled?" I mean, I didn't, I'm thinking 3 points away. I wasn't going to get 3 points away. I'd never get filled 3 points, something like that. That's crazy, right? And he goes, "You got filled." I go, what are you talking about?" And he goes, "Yeah, you got filled down there at 3 points away." And I'm like, "What?" And so I go, "Well, where's the market?" So now the number comes out. It's obviously completely out of whack. The electronic trading, you used to look at the electronic trading to get some idea where the market was. You used to look at the pit. Nobody kind of knew what the market was, right? And I said, "Well, where can we get out?" And he's looking at the screen, and there are no bids and offers anywhere. Okay, none. And he's like, "This is kind of weird, right? I got 20 lot on. Now each point on a 20 lot is $20,000. And so I'm looking, and there's absolutely no bids at all. And now here's the crazy part: you got a position on, whether you're long or short, and you can't, there's no market. How crazy is that, right? I mean, you're like, and then you think it looks like it's going against you because, obviously the market filled me down there 3 points away. And I'm just thinking, okay, now what do I do? I mean, like, so finally a bid comes in there 3 points below my level, and I'm long 3 points above, right? And remember, it's 20 lot, and I'm like, oh, this is not good. And obviously there was a little bit of an overreaction. It comes back. I get out of a 5 lot, like a point for a point loss. And then it comes all the way back, and I end up scratching, getting out of the other ones at a scratch, which means I didn't make any money. I didn't lose money, right? It was a scratch. It broke even. So that was like my best trade that I ever made, right? Because all of a sudden, I'm down 60,000, but I ended up losing only like 5,000 on the trade because it's like crazy. It's totally crazy. But that happens. That happens with numbers, and that's why you take my experience and kind of help you out so that you don't get yourself in trouble with any numbers, and you don't want to be in that situation that I was in. That I could tell you, because it's not a good feeling. So you take my experiences, and that's why I tell you, when you don't want to trade a number, you definitely don't want to trade a number because of those reasons, because you don't know what's going to happen, and you don't know how the market's going to react, and sometimes it could react neutral, sometimes it could react crazy, or sometimes it could be right in the middle someplace. Who knows? So it's not worth the aggravation. Trust me, it was aggravating felt like, I don't know, 5 hours. Maybe it was like 10 minutes. right? Maybe 5 minutes, but whatever. It was brutal. So you don't want to experience those feelings as the markets are, you know, giving you a heartache there because you got a position on with a number. Not the best of ideas. So let's try to eliminate that factor for you and not have a position on when a number is to be released. It's like somebody asked me yesterday, do you like to take positions overnight or the numbers were working overnight? I go, yeah, numbers will work overnight, but I do like sleep, right? I mean, you need to sleep, and you know, sometimes you just got to turn the machines off. Going back to our movie, I know we talked about starting the day. You just got to turn the machines off once in a while because it's not good for you to watch these numbers flicker on the screen all the time. And so, do yourself a favor, don't trade at night. It's just very thin and position. I mean, I was watching it yesterday for a little bit, not because I was trading it, because I was doing something else on my computer and I had my charts up. And it was just not moving. I mean, you're just, and then once Europe opens up, which is about 3:30 Chicago time, when Europe opens up, that's 3:30 in the morning. You do get some movement in the S&Ps somewhat. So if you're going to do anything as far as trading at night, at least wait for Europe to open up. If you're going to be, at least you get a little bit more volatility, but still, no matter what, the volume is very, very light in overnight trade until 8:30 comes around. 8:30. It's all Central Time, by the way. All right, you can see here we're definitely just chopping around here a little bit. Not really going anywhere fast. Got ourselves in a little bit of a range. Again, have 17 next level on the upside of some resistance, and right now I still say that the 96, 95 area would be a little bit of support, and right here in the middle, well, we're right here in the middle. It's tough to, if you're going to range bound trade, then you could try to do that, but be careful and keep your stops tight, especially if it breaks the range that we're trading in. Some of our traders love to trade the range. It gets in a little range bound. They just like to do it, and they just have to be a little bit careful. And if you're doing it long enough, you are careful. Anybody have any questions, please feel free to jot them down in the chat box area. We like questions, but we need to put them down in the chat box area where I can see them quicker. You could put them in the question Q&A section, but I won't see that as fast, that as quickly, as I don't have that chart, that window up. As the market again stays range bound here, and you got the support here at 5, goes up to about 10, 11, comes back down. Again, if you're going to trade the range, I would say anything below 2 out of any longs. On the upside, we got resistance up there at 17.
Hey, quick shout and welcome to Keats L. Hey, Keats, welcome. Hey, Robert, if you're around, let me know back. No, Robert, thank you.
No Robert C. And there's another Robert. So
Yeah, I think Robert stepped out for. I was trying to catch up with him. I sent him an email. Hey, Brad G, let me know if you're back. Brad, if you want to post your telephone number, I'll give you a ring up.
all right, we can see here we're still range bound. Again, the '05 area up to gets 1011. If you're going to trade that range, anything below '02, probably want to be out of any uh, longs. And that's what that's where we're at right now. It doesn't mean we're going to stay this way, so we shall see. All right, again, the market's kind of come up here and got it quickly into our range. Yesterday, at least we kept going and got some opportunity. Today, we're just kind of ran through the first couple, did all right on the third, and just stagnant up here. Again, if you're going to trade the range, '05 to the 1011 area, the any longs below '02, you want to be out of any longs. And we'll see what happens. Just let's be patient here. Next level on the upside we have is 17, and downside support I still think that between 95 and 96 probably be a better support area. And again, at any moment, anybody could say something, create some volatility. So who knows? All we can do is be a little bit patient, wait for the opportunity to present themselves, and try to take advantage when it does. We don't know when volatility is going to come into the market, and we definitely don't know when volatility is going to be taken out of the market. That's for sure. And volatility comes from into the market when people talk, say something. Politicians. There could be some geopolitical situation. There could be an announcement of a policy. It could be many different reasons why volatility could all of a sudden get fluxed into the market. So that's why you have to be. That's why we're traders, and you have your stops, whatever positions you're going to take. You get your exit strategy set up so that if you're going to, if we're going to buy 0504s, that below 2 you want to be out. And if you're not, because we don't like to, trade this little range, then just wait for the 95, 96 that it's a little bit better support, and just be patient and wait for this little choppiness here. When it gets into this choppiness, I like to call it a no trade zone. I just kind of wait for that to bypass and wait for a better opportunity. And again, yesterday we were busy all morning, and today it's a little bit different. And again, we just from day to day, we just don't know, right? That's one thing about our business that we love and kind of hate at the same time, right? Because you never know when we're going to get busy, and you never know when you're all of a sudden going to they're going to pull the plug and nothing happens. All right, so we said below 02, you don't want to be long, and you see kind of that opened up the floodgates here a little bit to the downside. They hit the stops. We're swiftly coming down here to 95, 96 area. Blue band's coming in there at 93, green band at 95. So right in this area here, got a little bit of support. All right, we dipped right down to 97, came back up. Once we got through the 02, again, there could have been another way to trade that, because you don't want to be long below 02. Could have been a little momentum trade there for you. I'm sure some of our traders took that. Again, there was a reason why you didn't want to be long below 02, and consequently, if you can read into that, maybe a little bit of a momentum trade there, given what the market was kind of setting up the price action. So sometimes you gotta just take what the market gives you. That was a good opportunity maybe to get a little bit short there if you were looking for a momentum trade and follow through. Now we were looking for 96. We got down here to 97, 95, 96. Still looking for that, I guess, but be a little bit careful here. Maybe do the 93 to 95 area. All right, just kind of came down right there to 97 area there and popping back up. And the market's kind of just come back up here again. We had support down at the 96, 95 area. I'd probably be looking a little bit lower than that now. All right, we've kind of drifted down to 97 there. We were looking at 96 for a little bit of support, and the market's coming back up here a little bit to maybe go back into that no trade zone area. Again, it's very, very choppy here. Not too many opportunities, even though the market's kind of moving around. The thing is to stay away from when the market's doing this is you think you're given opportunities to do something, but really there's really not that much here. So you have to just kind of wait for the market to kind of trigger something for you. It's always the best route to go instead of just trying to jump in there because you'd be guessing. The only other thing we had was maybe if you got short there below O2, like I suggested, you didn't want to be long below O2, and the market did have a nice little bit of a flush down, or you could have taken a little bit of a momentum trade in that situation. So we're not only trying to fade the market, we have to let the market kind of set something up for us to be able to take a momentum trade as well. And so we have to consider both opportunities there, not only just one. Now we're continuing to down. Like I said, probably make a little bit of an adjustment down to the 95 area if you're going to do anything here. All right, nice little rotation there. I got down to 5.25. So you have to make a little bit of an adjustment on the entry point there, only because of the way the price action was. Maybe you got in there again. If you're scaling in 5.5 there, you got a nice little 3-point rotation off of that. Rotation off of that support area. Again, we are not perfect, right? So we're talking about the 95 area. You're scaling into that level around it. All right, so nice little pop up there off of our support area. Again, we're not perfect, so we always like scale in. You should never, especially the way the markets are these days, you should always have scale in around the position. So if we say 95, if you're doing a half point above or below, or if you're doing a point above and below, that's how you would scale into a position. So, we're not going to be perfect. Sometimes it runs through, of course. Sometimes it just gives us half, or sometimes gives us all. We don't know, but you just have to, trade what the market's giving you. That's all. And we had to show a little bit of patience till we got down here. It was initially 95.96, and because of a little adjustment, we said 94.95, and hopefully you were able to take a little bit of an advantage on that support area. And obviously, I would not do it now. So if you had 95 and we got down to 5.25, you're not going to keep that in there. So All right, next good support level would be down at the 85 area, 86, 85 area. All right, seems like there's a little bit of pressure on the market right now. They kind of got up to that 13 area and then bounced off of it and just chopped around for a bit there. And then now all of a sudden got below 02 and then got a little bit weak here. All right. Market seems to kind of maybe want to turn down later a little bit. Anything above 05, you want to be out of any shorts. The next level of support we have is down at the 85, 86 area. All right, the market got a little bit weak. Trying to turn over here a little bit. If you're trying to stay short, I guess you can say anything above even out of any shorts if you want a tighter stop. All right, we're just kind of quiet, slowly turning over. Like I said, if you want to get short anything above even, you want to be out of any shorts. So kind of find your spot as to where how much risk you want to take and see if you want to try to get short, if that's what you're looking at. Um, at least for time being. We did go down to 88 and then pop back up. We're looking at the 85, 86 area as a little bit of support. If you're trying to get short and maybe cover them down there. Tougher trade today than it was yesterday, even though yesterday obviously we had a bigger range and we had more opportunity. But today it kind of got up here and just kind of got themselves out of any movement whatsoever. Again, a little bit more choppy. All right, well, we seem to have came back up here, getting choppy again. You can see how the market is kind of rejecting the first. They got themselves short and they're hitting all these stops. Again, we talked about out of any shorts above even. Could have been an opportunity to get long there as we hit those stops going up. Same thing as we talked about before, where you don't want to be long below 02, kind of the same thing here. You don't want to be short below above even, and it kind of hit the stops and made a little bit of a momentum trade there for you. And those are those inflection points that we talk about that the market's going to react to something, and obviously the shorts that were thinking the market was going down had their stops right above that area. And that's how we can sometimes take advantage of the stops getting triggered. Obviously, you need to kind of try to find where those areas would be and try to take advantage of it. And that's what we try to show you here on an everyday basis. Very choppy trade today, kind of bouncing all over the place. It was a range earlier and then got below 02. They flushed it down. We were looking at the 85, 86. They went down to 88, found some support. Thought that would maybe if you tried to stay short, they kind of went above those stops, pulled it back up here. Very choppy little trade here. The market doesn't really know what it wants to do, which way it wants to go. Those are good markets for us to kind of just pick your spots, wait for a market to kind of tell us something. Maybe those momentum trades are the key right now versus trying to, and you're taking them for 2 or 3 quick points. You're not trying to make home runs with them. But right now, that's all that's there, and it's really not giving us too much more than that. It's just chopping around here. Sure, it might be chopping in a 20-point range, but it's just chopping around. Doesn't know what it wants to do up here. They did rotate off in the morning really quickly, as you can tell. And then they just kind of chopped around there for about a half an hour, finally broke down. And we had a little bit of a buy earlier on around the 95 area. And we were trying to buy it in the 85, 86 area, but we never got down there. And then we're just kind of hanging here a little bit, chopping around. Thought maybe they wanted to stay short. They got everybody caught short, and then they popped it up here once we got above even, and they hit those stops. And hopefully, and again, a couple ways of trading. You could have gotten short close to even and gotten out of when it got up there, or you could have just bought the even area, hoping or wishing or wanting the stops to get hit, which they did, and help you make a little bit of a rotation to the upside. But again, you have to be quick. It got up to the 4 area really fast and back down. So it gave you about, I'd say you could have easily gotten 2 points out of the trade, no problem. Now we're just kind of coming back down. So very tough little trade. Tough to figure out what it wants to do. And market doesn't know what it wants to do, right? So patience is important. All right, we've again gotten very, very choppy again, just at a little bigger range, but still choppy nonetheless. Support right now would probably be, we had 85, 86. Now I'd probably make it a little bit lower down to maybe the 84 area. Only because of what the market is doing. Again, it doesn't, you would think it wants to go down, but it's just not, there's no really good feel here. I wish I could tell you anything different, but there isn't any. So just find the support areas, price action support areas. Next level on the upside really we have is up at 17, but again, above 05, well, probably about 06. Once you get above 06, we could run up to 10. and then maybe even get above 10. We could go up to the old highs there, and maybe even up to 17. But it seems like anything above 5 for sure. Maybe 05. You want to probably would think that the market would want to get some momentum to the upside. And this right here, very choppy, right? Very little choppy trade. Could go either way here. Again, if anybody has any questions, please feel free to ask them in the chat box area. We are trying to scalp the market here, given to try to take advantage of ebbs and flows of the market using support levels that we gave out early on this morning, and also the price action opportunities that occur once the market paints some bars. We've talked about a couple little I would say momentum trades there, given how the market sets things up. We've also gotten into a little bit of a range here, which again doesn't really bode too well for opportunities to trade. This is just bouncing back and forth. Very hard to say, okay, we're just going to buy it here and sell it there, because it just doesn't know when it's going to. It just this is what I call the no trade zone, where it's just going around both ways, bids and offers coming back down. Every time you think it's going one way, it doesn't. So best thing to do here is to just be a little bit patient. We have support down at the 84, 83 to 84 area, and resistance. If we get above 05, I think we rally a little bit up to maybe 10, and then probably those older highs there at 14, and maybe even a 17, which is the next level of resistance that we have that we gave out this morning. But the market's trying to absorb, a little bit of a. Basically, we're in the same range we were in yesterday, except for that little extension this morning. And basically, it's just come down here and traded in the same choppiness that it did yesterday late afternoon. Waiting for the results from Georgia, results from the Electoral College tomorrow. Keeping an eye out on the COVID situation still. So there are some things that the market is looking at. Uncertainty. Again, markets don't like uncertainty, but also that gives us opportunity to trade. Yeah, the little choppiness continues here. All right, chopping around here still. I want to say a little bit of pressure, but who knows, right? Again, like I said, a little bit of pressure on the market, but and I'm not, you know, not like I'm loving any kind of trade here. Uh, Anything above '05 out of any shorts, that's about all I can say. And we're too far away from '05 to get shorts, so anything can happen in the middle here. Downside support would be around 83, 84, 80, 83, 82, 80, 83, 84, right? Always tough when it gets a little bit of a range and nothing's going on. And again, you have to exercise some patience here and wait for the opportunities. Yesterday, again, every day is different, like I keep saying. Yesterday, we were really whipping around. Not so much so today. So consequently, we have to trade accordingly. As now we open up the floodgates a little bit to the downside. Support, I guess, at 83, 84 area. All right, well, it did go down to that 90.86 and then pop back up. We've made a little bit of an adjustment because of the previous attempted move down there, but it did hold at 86 area, and then again getting back into the choppy range here. So again, very tough little trade here today. Trying to make adjustments according to the price action, and this market's just kind of doing its own thing. Tight little range that it's been at, so be a little bit careful, be patient. Wait for the opportunities to present themselves. Sometimes it's a little bit easier than others. Sometimes it just doesn't. It's not going to happen, right? At least for a time being. Anything could change as the day goes on. But we said above '05, look for a little bit of a rally. And well, I think if we get below, well, our 83 there is our pivot, so that would be a little bit of support first time to it again. We still have that. And I think if we get below the 80, we could go retest some of the lower levels that we have. We talked about 73 and below. So we have our parameters. A little tough little day today, not as swift as yesterday. We had a couple of momentum trades. One level worked well for us. Others kind of ran through, especially the first couple bars. Like we talked about how added volatility is created in the first couple bars as the market opens up and more traders are trading. And they seem to, yesterday sold it off quickly. Today they bought it fast. And then right now they got themselves in a little bit of a range. So, and again, it's not really the best range ever. It's basically yesterday's range that we've been at. So not the best of trades right now. But again, you can't always have it perfect. So we'll take the good with the bad. And just be a little bit patient today and pick your spots. We'll be back. We'll be here in the background in case you need us. But I'll take a little bit of a break now. Get back in the bed.